Hello and welcome back to an all-new episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast. Coming up on today's show, Adam and I are going to take a deep dive back at the 1990 comic book classic, The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. From its gritty comic book roots to surprising box office success, we'll break down what made this film such a beloved staple of 1990s pop culture. So, is it still radical after all these years? The only way to find out is to listen to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now on the Couch Brotato Podcast.
They're young.
Yeah!
They're cool.
Excellent!
They're amphibians.
I never asked to look for a can opener.
America's most radical superheroes are now a real live movie.
A fellow checker, eh?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cowabunga!
Rated PG. Lean, green, and on the screen March 30th at theaters everywhere.
All right, hello and welcome to another episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast, a podcast about friends talking about their favorite movies. My name is Russ. With me, as always, is my co-host Adam. Adam, it's been a journey to get back to do a new episode. How are things with you? Are we finally good to go? I know we were having some home appliance issues.
We were having some home appliance issues, mostly with the washer. It has been an ordeal. The wife has taken to buying new clothes instead of washing clothes.
That's what everybody does.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I got a stain on my pants today. I just went out and bought new ones.
Yeah, you just throw them away, right?
Yeah,
they're ruined.
They're like paper towels.
It's the quicker picker upper.
Right, just I don't need you anymore.
But it's been okay. Other than that, I'm glad that we actually finally get to sit down and do this.
Agreed. We had an episode in mind. Every night we sit down, we're going to do it, and then something comes up or we can't get to it. But finally, we've got time on the books. We can do it. We are going to do the 1990 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cowabunga.
A movie that I don't know because I know we usually do these, and I always ask you, when was the first time you've seen it? Usually you're too young to have seen this in a movie theater. And I'm going to guess this is probably the same.
Yeah, so this came out the year I was born. Did not see it in a movie theater, but I am young enough to have appreciated this movie, the sequel movies, and all of the fun animated and video game and all of that stuff coming afterwards. So
you're a big fan of just the franchise in general.
Yeah, franchise in general. Super big fan of the comics, much darker and moodier, but not one of those guys that. It's like, the Last Ronin is the best thing ever, that sort of.
They took a lot of liberties with the Ninja Turtles for the theatrical release.
Yeah.
Worst comic book adaptation ever. Until we get to Blade 3.
Really good version of the comic book guy. That's a good impression.
And people that have listened to this, people that know me, all-time favorite show is The Simpsons. We actually have a friend that we kind of, whenever we do an impression of his voice, we always use the comic book guy as this dude's voice. And I think for years, if he's listening, he's probably going to shoot me a nasty, instant message or whatever. But, yeah, anytime we would, talk about a conversation we had, we'd always do his voice as the comic book guy from The Simpsons, because he was a big comic book guy. He loved collecting action figures, so we always just did the comic book guy's voice for him. Yeah, me.
Not a bad character.
No, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be Mr. Burns. No, I'm taking it back. I actually like the Mr. Burns character.
Yeah. Well, who's the most annoying character on The Simpsons? There's somebody. Probably don't know.
I think some of the people that would probably get nominated are some of my favorite characters. Like I really love Mo. Mo is like probably like my favorite secondary Simpsons character. Uh, Barney. I like Barney too.
Millhouse's dad is probably my least favorite.
Yeah, Milhouse's dad sucks. Kurt, was it Kurt Van Houten?
Van Housen. Yeah, Van Houten. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know, Lorraine. All right. Well, we're getting off track.
We are.
I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I grew up in the height of their popularity when they had the animated series that was on, I think, CBS.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 88, 89. And like, as soon as I watched this, I thought it was just like the coolest thing ever. Had to go get all the action figures. And as a matter of fact, my grandpa found all 4 of them at a Family Dollar.
Huh. Okay.
Out of all the places to shop, he found them at a Family Dollar. I'm like, I don't care where you get them from, as long as you get them.
Yeah.
And I remember when this movie came out, they had just opened up a brand new movie theater in town, which is at the time it was the Checkers Cinema 10.
Yep.
Now it's a UEC theater. And for the opening weekend, they opened on a Friday. If you're one of the first people that got to the movie theater, you could get a poster of one of the movies that they were showing. And my buddy and I got there super early. Luckily, we were on spring break. It was like the last of our spring break. We got there super early, and we were able to get the only 2 Ninja Turtles posters they had.
Oh, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, super big fan. I think I've seen all 3 of the theatrical releases. I think I've seen every single Ninja Turtles movie in the movie theaters, because it's like now I'm a father. My son was into the Ninja Turtles for a while too.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I don't think until the Mutant Mayhem that came out, was that last year or the year before?
Last year, yeah.
None of them have really struck a chord with me, or just I never really found to be that entertaining, with the exception of the original. Well, I'll take that back. I do have a very soft spot in my heart for Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, because that one's just so over the top. I don't know what the fuck. I think director and producers were on coke.
Aren't they always?
Yeah, and I mean, even though they for some weird reason decided not to do Bebop and Rocksteady, they did Tokar and Razor.
Yeah, and those actually ended up in the Super Nintendo video game.
Yeah. I mean, when they did that, I'm like, come on, that's Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, I was very fond of the Ninja Turtles. Watching this last week, when we were originally going to do this, it really shows its age. It's really it's a relic of the late 80s, early 90s.
They go hard with the grunge and the punk, and they also go super hard with the 80s and early 90s pop culture references. They actually mention a few things by name.
Yeah.
It dates itself.
And I, now looking back at it, some of the stuff that the Turtles would say is kind of cringy. It's like very, like, they borrowed heavily a lot from like the 80s action movies, where like they have the really cheesy one-liners. And as a kid, you're eating that up like, oh, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's so funny. And you watch it now, I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Man, the overuse of the word radical only works in a Ninja Turtles movie.
Agreed.
Like if you use the word radical now, you're over the age of 40.
Hey, I still use it in my I use rad. I don't say radical, I just say rad. I've used gnarly.
Yeah, see, Rad and Gnarly are still okay, but I'm also getting up there. So
I
don't
busted
know.
out. I dusted off Gnarly a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
gnarly cut on your finger. It's like, oh, that's pretty gnarly, man. Like, yeah, get them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like watching it, a lot of it was kind of cringy to watch, and it doesn't hold up quite as well for me now
Yeah.
as it did back when I was a kid. Like when I was younger, I watched this movie constantly. I remember wearing out the VHS tape out quite a bit to where it had uh, parts of the video that were like you kind of got like the crease or like the line that goes to
Yeah.
your tape just for like one
Yeah.
quick scene because you've played it so much and rewound it. But yeah, now like I don't think I would watch this again anytime soon. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I still thought there's parts of it I still found to be very, very enjoyable. But
Yeah.
when we decided to do this, like I had the nostalgia tinted glasses on.
Well, I think that I actually went away with the opposite.
Really?
I was like, oh yeah, yeah, back when they were Muppets. Uh-huh. Well, it could be fun to watch again. And then I watched it again. I'm like, man, this was actually a really fun movie to watch. Like you said, it doesn't hold up well. You can definitely tell it's a relic of the 80s, early 90s, but it still has that charm that newer movies don't have.
Mm.
Still has the story that newer movies don't have.
Yeah.
It actually has and actually when I was watching it, I did get the cringe factor. It actually reminded me a lot of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, which one? The last one, like the one that came out in like what, 93, 94?
Yeah, 93. Yeah. Yeah. It had that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, no, it was definitely a nostalgia trip for me. So
Yeah. When I was watching this, I always wondered why Splinter was always so wet.
yeah, he looked like
I mean,
he
like
was.
it's always like he went and like showered off somewhere. Like, all right, I live in a like he has what's the word, like OCD, or where like he's a germaphobe. It's like he lives in a sewer, like he can't be exposed to germs for more than 20 minutes. He has to go like shower off real
Shower.
quick.
The cleanest rat in the sewer.
Yeah, no kidding. The cleanest anything in the sewer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed it. I mean, it was still like a fun trip back to 1990, but it doesn't hold up very well in some aspects.
No. Right.
And I will
No, I
say
agree.
that the costumes that the guys that play the turtles are wearing are actually like, I still say miles above what they did for the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies came out.
I remember them being bad to be fair, I haven't watched the movie since I was probably in my 20s. So like when I went back to watch them, I'm like, man, they should capture more stuff in camera. And granted, yeah, Jim Henson did the costumes, so like of course they're going to be fantastic, but like they were really good in camera. They didn't need to have CG back then. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, like I during the some of the research I was looking, and they'd always have, whenever I type in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they'd always bring up the newer ones first, and I was just looking at those like the costumes, and I was like, man, those are fucking horrible. Like, who approved that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they did it much better in the 90s versions.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Actually was reading, it was going to be one of my fun facts, but I cut it. They recorded all of the stuff with their mouth movements and in the fight scenes at 22 or 23 frames a second, because the mechanics inside the mouths were slow, and were the movements during the fight scenes. So they just did that and at those frame rates and sped it up. So it looks really great.
Corey Feldman, voice of Donatello. Did you?
Yeah, he was yeah, he was actually, I don't know if that's one of my facts or not.
If it
Yeah.
did,
It is one of my picks, but it's fine. No, it's cool. He was the only teenager that was one of the voices of the Turtles during the time of recording.
Yeah, he was the only guy I recognized. Like even as a kid, I was like, "That's fucking Corey Feldman."
There's a couple of guys that I recognize, but they're voice actors, so like they don't like appear on film. So yeah.
Well, you ready to knock out some of these categories?
Oh, for sure.
All right, I think we got a couple fun ones today. There's a few that we had to church up and change around a little bit because they fit better with this particular movie than they do most of the other ones we do
Right.
here. Well, if you have lived in a cave for the last 40 years and you have no idea what in the fuck the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is about, it's basically the story of 4 turtles that were exposed to some radioactive ooze, and they basically grow up to be like human sized. Then they're trained by their master Splinter, who is a rat, and he too was exposed to the ooze. Also grows to be human size, and they use their ninja abilities to fight crime in, I'm guessing it's New York City.
Yeah,
because I don't think they ever
New York.
say exactly what city it is.
Yeah, they don't say, but it's definitely written down as New York City.
Yeah,
in the script. Yeah,
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is rated PG, so it's fun for the whole family. Released on March the 30th, 1990, stars Judith Hoag, Elias Koteas, and the voices of Brian Tochi, Josh Pies, Corey Feldman, and Robbie Rist. Directed by Steve Barron. I did not get the Rotten Tomatoes score for some reason, but I have a feeling it's probably not super awesome. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Box office had a $13.5 million budget, grossed $202 million worldwide, which I do remember this movie being huge when it came out.
Yeah.
Right now, first off, it did not win any awards. Kind of not surprising there. And I was shocked that you could not stream it anywhere. Not available for streaming at all.
The way that I watched it was on I have the DVD, and I was going to do it that way at first, but the way that I watched it was on YouTube. It is free on YouTube with ads currently.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. Vudu has a feature where you can take like the barcode of like a Blu-ray or a DVD that you own, and you could scan it.
Yeah.
And then you could basically create yourself a digital copy for like $2. And what I did is
bad. Yeah.
No, I'm not for that at all. So I just hopped on the old iPad, looked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Blu-ray UPC code, and just scanned it with my phone and got it for $2. Oh, by the way, the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, 43% from critics and 81% from audiences. The consensus, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is exactly as advertised. One-liners, brawls, and general silliness. Good for the young at heart, irritating for everyone else. Yikes.
Oh,
but that's kind of about what I expected it to be.
Yeah, I was going to say that's very, very apt for what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I can't see Roger Ebert putting this in the same class as The Godfather and The Godfather 2.
Nominated for Best Picture, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990.
My Left Foot, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Born on the 4th of July. Oh, no, that would have been the Goodfellas Dances with Wolves year. You know, honestly, I would take Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and put it in place of Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, I would too.
I have watched Dances with Wolves one time. And I've watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles easily 6 or 7 more times than I've seen Dances with Wolves. I've watched Dances with Wolves more times. Or no, I've seen Ninja Turtles more times in 25 years than I've watched Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd put it in there, and then that way Goodfellas wins Best Picture as it should have.
Maybe one day we should make our own Oscar episode of the movies that we think should win the Oscars one year.
I like it.
Just pick a year.
Oh, just go down. Yeah, dude, that's a fucking hell of a good idea. Hell of a good idea. And maybe that'll be coming sooner rather than later.
All right.
Did you know? These are some fun and interesting facts and tidbits in the behind the scenes production of the particular movie we're talking about, which today's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of the early ideas floated around that in regards to production is they wanted to make this kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They wanted to animate the Ninja Turtles and have everyone else be human.
Okay, I could see it, but I like the way they did it better.
Yeah. Yeah, they scrapped it pretty quickly in favor of pursuing performances in turtle costumes from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Yeah, very good choice with that. Speaking of Jim Henson, this is the last theatrical film he was associated with. He passed away about a month and a half after the movie came out.
Yep.
This was the highest grossing independent film until the Blair Witch Project came out in 1999. Which,
see that, yeah, we were gonna do that one, and we ended up not doing that one
because of fucking jobs and life and stuff. Like, I really think that we should start a GoFundMe so we can quit our jobs and make this our career.
I would, that would be awesome.
We can get a production team. We can have people that can actually make us better. It just works out best for everybody.
It does.
And yeah, it's just for like, we'll just do like a subscription fee for like the price of a cup of coffee. You can make two people's dreams come true. And that dream is not to ever work ever again. Yeah, this is the highest grossing film of all time until the Blair Witch Project, having made $135 million domestically and $66 million at the foreign box office. Which I know this was produced or this was distributed by New Line, so I'm guessing New Line had nothing to do with the actual production of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm sure they snacked that up pretty fucking quick though.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams, yes, that Robin Williams was a big fan of the franchise, and he provided Judith Hoag with information regarding her character through his comic book collection, which, for those of you that don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started out as a comic book series before it became an animated television series and the movies and then video games, you know the rest. They were starring in the, how do I put this politely, the Robin Williams film, Cadillac Man.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie. It was a picture show. Corey Feldman said he was offered only $1,500 to do voice work for this movie. He accepted, believing producers told him that this was only a small, low-budget independent film, hoping that it would have some moderate success on VHS, if they were lucky. Of course, the movie ended up being a huge box office hit.
Yep. And $1,500 later, he's probably pissed off about it.
Originally, Steve Barron wished to replicate April O'Neil's jumpsuit from the early Mirage comics and the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. The look was going to be closely resemble the cartoon with yellow-colored jumpsuit and a big head of red hair, as opposed to a green jumpsuit and brown hair. However, Judith Hoag found the jumpsuit horrifying, and the idea was nixed. The yellow raincoat April wears in the beginning of the movie is a homage to the yellow jumpsuit the character wears in the 1987 cartoon.
Boo, hiss, boo.
Judith Hoag sounds like she was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, she didn't come back for the subsequent films because she was such a pain in the ass. So
yeah, the actress Paige Turco, who they got for 2 and 3, she's kind of a babe.
Yeah, think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one I got is editor Sally Menke, primarily known for her work with Quentin Tarantino, made her feature film debut working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Sally Menke is like, she does all of Tarantino's editing. I think she's done every movie. She's done every movie he's done.
Cool. All right.
And yeah, she cut her teeth on the Ninja Turtles. Is there anything you had?
Yeah, I got a few things. Like I said before, Corey Feldman was the only teenager to actually voice one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All the other voice actors were adults at the time. And although he was proud to have helped advance the art of animatronics, Jim Henson was actually less than pleased with the actual content of the movie. He viewed the violence as excessive, pointless, and not his style. And as such, Henson's children tried to have a dedication to his memory removed from The Secret of Ooze, which ironically went out of its way to tone down the violence because of Henson's complaints. Also, it toned down the violence because of parents' complaints. It's one of those things from the 80s and 90s that parents thought were causing their kids to become violent.
Yeah, like video games.
Satanic panic, as it were. Oh, that makes you violent. Power Rangers makes you violent. Video games make you violent. Rock music makes you violent. Yeah, all of that stuff. So in the scene where Raphael is fighting Casey and he gets knocked into a trash can, he claws desperately at the trash can because the head of his suit actually cracked and it broke his nose and he was in pain. And so that is actually him being in pain, hitting the trash can out of pain because he just broke his nose. And he was replaced throughout the rest of the film after that scene was shot. At least for the physical scenes. He started choking on his own blood in the helmet too, so that's kind of scary.
Damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a turtle head that is crushing my skull.
I think the same actor who did his voice is the same actor who plays him in the suit, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay. Maybe. I know a few of them weren't, but yeah, you're probably right.
Well, Corey Feldman ain't doing it.
Yeah. This film actually came out in the wake of Batman 1989 success. It's one of those films that had the comic book eerie, murky vibe. And it also had the same kind of storyline as the comics. So it was trying to bank off the success of those types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 actors in this movie that are Muppeteers that you would see on the Muppet Show or Sesame Street. Kevin Clash, who Muppeteered Splinter, was actually the same Muppeteer for Elmo. David Rudman does Baby Bear and Scooter. And Martin P. Robinson does Telly Monster and Snuffy the Snuffleupagus on Sesame Street.
Okay.
That's all I had for fun facts.
And all those guys did Splinter?
So they did various characters. So there was a couple of them were Muppeteers for the Turtles' faces. And then I think there was a couple of Muppeteers for Splinter as well. So,
live well, my sons.
Oh, I also other fun fact, bonus fact. That actor is Canadian and is doing a fake Japanese accent. I forget his name though.
Cowabunga, eh? How hilarious would that have been if he actually spoke like Canadian? Like, I'm talking like Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis, Strange Brew Canadian.
Yeah.
I'd revisit it a lot just for that. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Splinter's a hoser. What are you talking about?
Who are you talking about? Sorry, hey, I'm gonna go out and about.
Out and about, the haze. I'm tired of living in the sewer. We need a haze. All right,
Canadian Splinter needs to be a thing.
The Martin Scorsese. This is Cinema Award for the best scene of the movie. It would have been Splinter trying to order fucking like send them on a beer run as they go to Tim, like on their way to Tim Hortons, but it's not that.
No.
I thought the best sequence in the movie is it's obviously it's got to be one of the fight sequences. The fight sequences are really good, especially considering that those are guys in like probably 30 to 50 pound suits.
Yeah. Those are the scenes that actually remind me of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers a lot, just because like they would have monsters in suits, and I don't know if there's like some special choreographer or trainer that like I specialize in guys fighting in suits. See, like that's that guy.
Oh yeah,
but he needs to have an award.
You got a rubber suit. You need to learn how to fight. We're your guys.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the rooftop scene where the four of them fight Shredder. Okay.
Yeah, I had that as my honorable mention, but it lost to another scene.
I put that one down because that's like when they come to, because you never really see them like fight as a foursome in this.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, when they crash through April's apartment, Raphael's obviously down.
Yeah.
But like, this is like the sequence where like, okay, this is the Ninja Turtles unit.
Mm-hmm.
This is them. And then, of course, like for a PG movie, like when Shredder goes to like stab Splinter and he does that one-handed move with a nunchuck, which fucking blows my mind. I've never seen like somebody handle the chucks like that.
Yeah.
And then Shredder falls into the trash can and Casey Jones essentially just fucking murders him.
Yeah. He pretty much well, I mean, technically he didn't because he's still alive in the second one.
Well, yeah,
Spoilers.
I mean, if you didn't know, if you didn't know there was a sequel on the way, like, yeah, he flat out fucking kills him. Like, just fucking crushes him in a trash truck. And all he says is,
what a way to go.
He's perfectly fine with it, too. That's like,
yeah.
We all know Casey Jones. Yeah, he has a screw loose, but man, he just fucking flat out murders him, and he's like, oops. But that's my favorite sequence of the movie.
Yeah, no, that was very, very close to my favorite sequence. And you actually just mentioned it. It's the scene where they're all fighting in April's apartment in the antique store.
Yeah, that was
I just like it because like it shows off like all of the other than Raphael, but I mean we got to see him fight Casey, but it shows off all of their moves because before they're just hanging out with April, you know, and they're actually fighting the Foot Clan pretty heavily for one of the first times, and yeah, it catches fire, and then they have to go. I don't know. It seems to be a movie trope where they have to like regroup at a safe house, like a safe location, and then
an old
shitty
fucking house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and then they have to like commune with nature and be better ninjas, and it's very tropey, but I just like that sequence. It's really cool. And then of course they do the whole farmhouse thing and then go back and fight Shredder. So. The Shredder scene was my my runner up for this, but I really like it too.
Yeah,
I'm okay with giving it to the last scene.
Okay, yeah, I just thought that one was pretty cool. Yeah, see, ours were flip flop because the Raphael crashing through like the skylight was number 2 for me. So
yeah, Also, whose idea was it to put him face down in the bathtub? Like, how is that helping him at all?
I don't know. Like now, for those of you that do not know, I am not like an aquatic specialist by any means. I just play one on television. Can turtles can like they have like gills? They can breathe underwater, correct?
No. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's why
I have a
much
turtle.
smarter than I am.
Turtle. Well, I only know this because I have a turtle. Otherwise, I would have no clue. Turtles can't breathe underwater, so they actually come up for air occasionally, but they can hold their breaths for a very long time.
Okay, see, I didn't own a turtle because if I did, I would have fucking killed it probably within like the first couple of days of owning one because I just would have put it in the water thinking it could have breathed. So,
Yeah.
I don't, and I never understood why April taking a handful of water and pouring it over him is just going to help.
Yeah. Just keep it wet.
Keep him moist.
Don't let the turtle dry out.
Keep him moist. The Andy Dufresne Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying award for the best or most quotable line of the movie. I think it's pretty obvious. It's got to be Cowabunga.
It's Cowabunga. I do like the lead up to Cowabunga though, and I actually have that written down in my notes. I just love the fact that it's like we were bodacious, bitchin'.
I forgot they said that until I watched it the other day. Don't they say something like Nichin?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
That might have been where I thought they said Nichin, but they probably were saying bitchin'.
they're saying bitchin', and then bodacious, and there's another one too. But then Splinter was always like, "I like Cowabunga." And
I like Cowabunga, eh? But yeah, I think it's got to be Cowabunga. I mean, it's pretty much like that word is only known
Yeah,
from the Ninja Turtles. I can't see anybody else using it and making it.
no. It's only like maybe if you're watching an old surfer flick, but even then, like it's only said once.
No, and I that phrase was like Michelangelo's phrase, and that kind of made him like he was like kind of like the Paul or John of the Ninja Turtles. Like he was the breakout star of that franchise. Everyone loved fucking Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I was more of a Leonardo guy myself, but
I'm a weirdo. I like Donatello.
hey, no, you see when I brought this up, I could totally see it because you're very like you're the smartest one of our friend group. So you'd easily have to be Donatello. Although now, like as I've gotten older and more jaded in life, I think I kind of identify more with Raphael.
Yeah. Yeah. He's more of the angry, gruff, like kind of loner kind of guy.
And
Yeah.
he's surly.
Yeah.
Very surly. And I was like, I identify with that. The McLovin Award.
Oh, hey, I am not on it.
Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it.
I am McLovin.
I already did it.
All right. The McLovin Award for the best supporting or scene stealing performance. Not a lot to choose from.
No, I actually have a strange one, but I want to hear yours.
I just went with Elias Koteas as Casey Jones simply because like I like that character from the cartoons a lot.
Yeah.
And it was probably the fact that like he was a superhero kind of, but like he had no special powers. He just like grabbed a bunch of shit out of his garage and went beat people up.
The best kind of vigilante.
Seriously, he's like, okay,
a bunch of Batman.
Fucking ball bats and like golf clubs and like cricket bats is like a hockey mask to protect his face. Like, and
not
like
wearing hockey pads.
And now that guy is actually a very distinguished actor. Like he's been in a lot of like prestige like films and
Mm,
And every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, fuck, that's Casey Jones.
Yeah, I could see it. I didn't pick him only because I thought he was in too much of the movie. But that's the only reason why.
Well, I mean, there's really
I think
not a lot to choose from. Like, I cannot stand April O'Neil's boss.
Yeah, he's really annoying.
And I hate fucking Danny, that kid that essentially only wears that Sid Vicious shirt. I fucking can't stand that kid.
And yeah, he steals $20 from April, but like they make it like a big deal when he brings it back too. Like, here's $20. I mean, I guess $20 was more money back in the 90s, but
right. And why just 20? Like, what if that was April's last $20?
Yeah, I know, that was her gas money. Like,
that was the money that she needed to get to that abandoned farmhouse, and I bet Casey Jones had to chip in the rest to get him there.
Yep.
I mean, we don't know what Casey Jones does. He could be he could be a Wall Street stockbroker for all we know, and just does that on the side.
Nah. He makes his own sports equipment and sells it. That's why he has like cricket.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solving the mysteries of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So my pick was James Saito for the Shredder, because he's not in a lot of the movie, but he hams it up super hard.
Oh,
like
dude.
he yeah.
The noise he makes when he falls, he's falling from that building, is like, oh. I was like,
yeah. And I don't know of any other person that would be as angry at a rat puppet on film. Like, he did a good job.
He does. He hates Splinter's fucking guts. Like, he was going after him to kill him. Just because he scratched his face, which Splinter's a fucking wild animal. What do you expect?
Right. And you just killed his owner.
I mean, I see if I did that to him, like, yeah, I'd fucking want to kill me too. But I think it's a fucking rat.
Right.
I'd be more blown away, like, how the fuck are you like almost as tall as I am?
The thing that I didn't get about Shredder, and it's nothing bad against the actor or anything, which is why he should still win this award, in my opinion. But okay, you get mauled by a rat in Japan. You kill your rival, and you get mauled by his rat. You escape to New York. And so your first idea is, I need an army. So I'm going to gather children and have them do petty crime. Like, it never made sense to me.
Dude, I'm fucking just throwing it out there. Like, if I was a fucking teenage kid, I would sign me up for the fucking Foot Clan right now. They had arcade games, smoke cigarettes. Yeah. I'm sure that there was a lot of
yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of fucking like banging going on in there. I'm sure they got they recruited females as well. So a lot of fucking going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fucking 13, 14-year-old kid's dream.
Man, that arcade looked pretty sweet too. Like, they had it in that warehouse, and that, like, probably best arcade of 1990 if it were real.
Yeah,
sure.
They could have totally gone legit, just turned it into a fucking arcade.
Yeah.
Shredder's Arcade.
Oh yeah, that's the arcade that the ninjas run. What are you talking about?
Ninjas. Yeah, the ones that got like the bug-eyed looking mask.
But I think the Shredder should get the McLovin Award.
We can give it to the guy who plays Shredder. I mean, you made a very valid case for him. And I mean, like, I just picked Elias Koteas simply because, like, I had nobody else to choose from. Like, who else am I gonna go with here?
Right.
I mean, I can't pick one of the guys that's in the fucking suit.
Right, you can't. I mean, they did a good job, but they're in all of the movie.
The Dean Winters, Who's That Guy award for the performer you've seen in the movie, but you don't know their name. I am nominating a very, very, very young Sam Rockwell is in this.
That's right. He is in this. I didn't have somebody for this. And then I went through the cast list after I watched the movie, and I meant to go back and try and find him, but I didn't have him for this specifically because I didn't see where he was.
He is the guy that's giving some of the recruits the tour of the Foot Clan facility. And then at the very end of the movie, he's the one that tells that fucking obnoxious police chief. I don't even remember his name.
Yeah.
But he tells them to look on the Lairdman Island.
Yeah, that's
shit
right.
Over there. That's Sam Rockwell.
Okay. Yep. No, he totally wins this because I didn't actually have anybody written down, but I was going to go back and look for him. So
yeah, Sam Rockwell, for those of you that do not know, esteemed actor, has been in a bunch of stuff, but he's probably best known for playing Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, who is arguably the best thing about Iron Man 2. He's actually really good in that.
He also plays Zaphod Beeblebrox in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, see, I've never seen that movie. Only you and Jim would be the two people that would know that. Because Jim talked about that movie like it's the fucking Godfather or Jaws. Like you have to see it. I'm like, okay.
It's good. I don't think it's required cinema. If you wanted to read the books, that's better. But it's definitely not like, you got to see this movie.
The most 1990 moment of the movie, which there's quite a few.
There are, there's a lot. As we were talking about earlier, this is a dated movie.
One thing that if you blink, you'll miss it. And I just chose this because I didn't know what you were going to come up with. In the rooftop scene when Casey Jones is like, he sees Raphael training on the roof.
Yeah.
When they do the long shot, when they're zooming in, Casey Jones has a bottle of Gatorade sitting next to him in a glass bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Gatorade used to put their drinks in glass bottles for the longest time. And then, of course, they went to plastic after that. I drink one as we speak. But yeah, I mean, I just seen it. I was like, fuck, that's right. Gatorade did put their stuff into glass bottles for a long time.
So, I had one. There's a couple of these. They did a bunch of references to other media. So they were talking about Gilligan's Island a little bit while they were working on the car. And they would reference other movies and TV shows while they were watching TV, because that's pretty much all they do down in the sewer besides train as ninjas as they watch TV.
And eat pizza.
But my favorite reference that dates this has to be when Casey and April are fighting in the farmhouse. And I'm pretty sure it's Michelangelo that says, "It's just like moonlighting."
Oh, that was perfect. Because I think, like, even if you would have been like 10 or 11 years old seeing this, like when you turned 11 or 12, you probably wouldn't have gotten that reference as well as someone like me who remembers the show Moonlighting. My mom adored that show when it was on TV. So I watched more than my fair share of that television series.
It's probably one of my guilty pleasures. I love watching Moonlighting. Like I own it on DVD. So
no shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck, that's something I did not know about you. Adam watches Moonlighting. I'll be damned. But yeah, that one's got to win.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That one's got to win. And I didn't even pick up on that. Well done, sir. The Indiana Jones, it belongs in a museum award for the prop you would most want for your collection. Now, I think we have to preface this. I think the Ninja Turtles weapons have to be off the table because that's the most obvious answer. It's wanting one of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
I think
I would probably want one of Raphael or Mike Leonardo's swords.
Yeah. If it were weapons, it would probably be either nunchucks or the swords. Yeah.
Although the size are pretty cool too.
They are.
I'm actually taking Shredder's helmet. before it gets crushed,
Man,
along with his body in the trash truck.
you picked mine. No, I was thinking that exactly as you said it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I can't pick Shredder's helmet since you've already picked it. It's in your museum now. So,
Come over and see it anytime.
yeah, my museum's gonna have to like borrow it from your museum, like museums do in real life. I'm gonna have the Russ Casto exhibit at my movie prop museum.
Yeah, I've got plenty of space available, plenty of wall space.
Let's see, what would I pick? You know what? I would probably pick the manhole.
Okay,
Gotta have a manhole. Yeah,
and that's actually that's part of the logo from the cartoon.
Yeah.
It was literally surrounded the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Although if you really wanted the helmet, I would have taken Casey Jones's mask.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, or his cricket bat. Or yeah.
One thing I would not want would be that dirty ass Sid Vicious shirt that Danny wears throughout the entire movie. And this movie takes place, I'm guessing, over a 2-week period, and he has that shirt on for the entire time. Movie.
Yeah,
I think except for the end, he has a different one on. But like for the most part, he's got the same one on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he changes at the farmhouse. Finally.
Still don't like that kid. I don't like his dad either. Fuck him. The John Williams Award for Best Use of Music in the Movie. What do you got?
I did not have anything other than the credits theme because it's iconic.
I had that as well. I had Turtle Power is the name of that song.
Yeah.
Turtle Power. Turtle Power. I'm not going to rap the rest of it, but
it's so great. And you sit through the entire, well, not the entire credits. But
I till that song stopped playing. I could have easily stopped that movie as soon as it like went to credits. Like, no, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit.
Yeah,
I will say that the Ninja Turtles theme is pretty good too. I don't even know who does the score for this, but I kind of dig that one too. It kind of fits the mold of the movie. It's kind of light and fun.
Yeah, it is.
But no, it's Turtle Power is the obvious answer here.
Right.
If only Ice Cube would have hit it bigger before this movie came out, we could have gotten Ninja Rap before Ninja Turtles 2. But they decided to cash in after he had hit his peak. This particular category is normally we would choose to keep one actor and recast the rest of the film with Muppets. But since this movie, primarily 5 of the main characters are puppets of some sort, we can't really do that. So we decided to put a little spin on this, and Adam and I were talking. Adam had a great idea, so we're going to go with it. Recast the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with distinguished actors.
Yes, and I think this is a pretty good twist, especially for a movie like this, which probably won't happen very often on the podcast. There's not a lot of movies that we do with Muppets made. Maybe so. But I thought it would be hilarious to watch a movie where everybody else is Muppets except for the 4 turtles, and the distinguished actors would have like not the full costumes on, but like just like a turtle shell or something like that, and they're fighting in it. That'd be hilarious. So I rolled with it, and so my 4 that I am nominating for this category, and I didn't pick particular turtles for these actors, so we could probably talk about it. But Sir Laurence Olivier, Sir Ian McKellen, Sir Anthony Hopkins, and Sir Alec Guinness, and I purposely picked knighted actors because it made it even funnier.
Okay, You caught me off guard, so I've been like dwelling on this as we've been doing this episode. So I'm going with Robert De Niro would be Leonardo.
Okay.
All
right.
I would put Al Pacino as Michelangelo.
Okay.
And I want to hear Al Pacino deliver the lines.
Dude, I love being a turtle.
I love being a turtle. I have Russell Crowe as Raphael because Russell Crowe is known to be very surly. So see, I've got De Niro's Leonardo. I've got Pacino as Michelangelo, simply just to hear him deliver Michelangelo's lines. That'd be the only reason I would do it. And I have Russell Crowe as Raphael. So now for Donatello, I have to pick an actor who's known for being kind of. I got it. Jeff Goldblum as Donatello.
That's great. No, that's perfect. So maybe I'm thinking Anthony Hopkins on my list would be Raphael. I feel like he would be more of the surly loner. And then I would pick Alec Guinness to be Michelangelo because that's funny.
Yeah.
And then Laurence Olivier would be Donatello. And Ian McKellen would be Leonardo. Yeah, he would be Leonardo. He'd be the leader.
That would have been my pick too. Or you could have switched Hopkins.
Yeah.
And McKellen. I would have been okay with that too.
Yeah. I think Hopkins is a good leader, but I feel like he would be a little bit more surly. I know that they've both played like angry and evil characters, but
now let me ask you this. I don't know why this just popped into my head, but you said they would just wear like the turtle shell, right?
Yeah, just like the turtle shell.
Can they please have the colored mask?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. It's iconic. You have to have that. And then everybody else is Muppets.
Okay. I like it. Another new category we're going to test drive for this particular episode. The Shaving Ryan's Privates Award for the best porno spoof name for this. I couldn't come up with anything on my own. So I threw my iPhone in incognito mode just so it didn't show up my search results, because my kids get my phone a lot and that's all I need to see. But it brought up some stuff I wasn't really I didn't want to see. But there is an actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles porno name or porno spoof that they did produce. It came out around the time of the new Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies.
Okay. All right.
It's newer. It's called 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles.
10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right.
Not the best. And
no,
as the title suggests,
good.
These are well endowed fellas. But that's a legit thing.
I have to ask, and I don't know how much you know of it, but did they at least wear the colored face masks?
They did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it looks a lot like them, except it's just dudes painted green and they're like fucking it's like 4 fucking horses.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah, don't know if that's I've got a few categories been tinkering around with, but yeah, that was the only one.
Now, I will definitely come up with something way later after we're done recording, and I will probably shoot a text to you like, man, this is the perfect name, but we didn't get it recorded. But next time when we do this category, I will have a name for this category.
All right. It's a shame we didn't like bust this out during like Forrest Gump. Perfect Forrest Humps.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I could come up with for this one. The Hall of Fame Award for Career Achievement. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. Would it be this, or would it be the animated series, the original?
It would be animated series would be number one. This would be a close number two. This broke them into more of the mainstream because animated series, while it was super successful, it spawned all the interest and the like with the Turtles. I know the comics came first and everything, but it was the animated series that kind of shot them off. The movie kind of brought it to everyone, not just the Saturday morning crowd. So,
yeah, that was my thinking on it too. It was just as big as this movie was, we don't get there without. It wouldn't even gotten greenlit if the cartoon wasn't such a massive success.
Right. So, solid number two does not make the Hall of Fame in number one.
Would this make the Hall of Fame for comic book movies pre-MCU? So we don't have a lot to choose from in this. We have Batman.
Yes.
We have Superman.
Superman.
I mean, and of course, like you can go into like the 90s. You got like Blade and some of the
you can, yeah, X-Men.
Was X-Men 90?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were in the early 2000s, I guess. So
yeah.
But you also have the really crappy like Captain America, the old one.
Funny you mentioned that. I was on TikTok earlier, which I didn't delete it off my phone. I knew it was coming back.
Yeah.
I kept faith, and my faith was rewarded. But they showed a clip of that real shitty cap. Are you talking about the one when Canon Films was doing like their Marvel movies from like the 90s? Because they did a Punisher with Dolph Lundgren too.
Yeah.
Which actually, if I remember correctly, is not half bad.
I don't remember.
I used to go to this video store, and the owner always knew I was coming. He'd always set me aside a copy of like all the new release stuff, and he'd let me cherry pick them.
Yeah.
And he had the Punisher. I'm like, fuck, like the Punisher movie? I didn't know they made one. It was a direct to DVD job. And I loved the Punisher as a kid. But the Captain America one wasn't that early 90s one. It was one made from the 1970s. Captain America's
that one's
helmet.
even worse.
Yeah, Captain America's helmet is a motorcycle helmet.
That's awful. Yeah,
it's awful.
No. Those movies definitely are the bottom of the barrel, so there isn't really a lot to choose from. So I'm pretty sure Turtles at least makes the top 5. It's definitely not number one. Batman 89 is number one in my book. Followed very, very closely by if we're doing the Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 2. If not, then
I would say
Turtles
Batman 89, Batman, Spider-Man 2, X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
The original. Oh, no, I would say 2. 2 is like kind of like Spider-Man 2. 2 is better than 1, and I really like the first 2. I'm gonna go with Blade. No, Blade. I'm not taking fucking the original Superman. What the hell am I thinking?
Yeah, original Superman. Yeah,
I always forget it. Like, it's been such a long time since that movie come out.
Hot take. I think Turtles beats Blade for spot 5, though.
I would. Yeah, I would put the Ninja Turtles above Blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because like
So
the
top
Turtles
5.
was a massive success too. Whereas Blade was like kind of a modest hit, but the second one was bigger than the first one.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say Superman, Batman, X-Men, Spider-Man 2.
Yep, and then Turtles. Turtles makes top 5, but it's not number 1.
Right. Renaissance era names. Got Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo. They're named after famous artists from the Renaissance era.
Yeah. And you don't get a lot of media where you have Renaissance, like you don't even have like Plato or Socrates or any of those guys either in movies. So I'm saying, yeah, this is number one. It's got to be.
You say Socrates. I have always pronounced.
So
Yeah, from Bill and Ted, I've always called him Socrates. I even like.
good old Socrates. See, Bill and Ted makes this list too as a top 5 movie, but
we still need to do that one.
Yeah,
but has an anniversary coming up.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah, we need to do Bill and Ted soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for sure it takes the case for Renaissance era names.
Yep.
Pizza in movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't have Ninja Turtles without pizza. You can't have, and they marketed hard in this movie. I noticed they had the Gatorade, and it was in they had full logo, like logo was there. Burger King full logo, like turned towards the camera, and the Whopper was even like the little clamshell that it comes in was even up so that you could see that it said Burger King Whopper on it. So
Domino's Pizza.
Yeah, Domino's Pizza.
Which actually, what's funny is Pizza Hut was running. They were like the sponsor for the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like when like McDonald's always had that marketing tie-in. Yeah, Pizza Hut was with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Domino's got into the movie, but Pizza Hut was the merchandising.
I will say that pizza that they got was damn, that thing looks fucking good.
Yeah, it does.
I'm like, man,
yeah, it does.
That was back when out of the fast food pizza joints, Domino's is probably my favorite. But they were on a different fucking level back in that time. Like they tasted like just different, like completely different, but in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, and I do remember they changed up the recipe not too long ago because they got really bad reviews on Twitter saying their crust tastes like cardboard and their sauce tastes like ketchup. So they changed up their recipe to appease their customers on Twitter.
Amphibian main characters featured in movies. Now, with this one, you've got the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
You've got are turtles amphibians, right?
Turtles are reptiles, but
reptiles. That's what I meant. Reptile.
Yeah. Okay.
Because frogs would be reptiles too, right? Or those are amphibians.
Those are amphibians. Yeah.
Oh well, fuck this. Never mind. I can't.
We can do both. Frogs or reptiles or amphibians in movies because you got the Frog King in Shrek. You got the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Kermit the Frog.
I mean, they're characters. You got Kermit the Frog. Yeah.
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep. You got if you want to like even stretch it even further, Jafar turns into a snake in Aladdin. So like the
Anaconda from Anaconda.
Yeah.
Who eats creepy John Voight.
So yeah, there's plenty of movies where there's characters in that are reptiles or amphibians. So, but I think that turtles take the cake for this category as well.
Oh, you give it to them?
Yeah, I'd give it to them. Yeah, I mean, maybe Godzilla has a chance, but Godzilla's like a fake creature. Like he's not an actual. Like the turtles are fake too. They're obviously not humanoid turtles, but
you put them above Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
I can't put him above Kermit the Frog.
I will. The only reason I would was because like as great as the Muppets are to you and I don't think the Muppets have withstood the test of time. They tried to like bring them back with that sitcom a few years back, but that kind of failed as well. So Turtles have endured.
Okay.
So
that's all I had for Hall of Fame, simply because, well, one more. Ninjas. Okay. I think it boils down to The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or American Ninja, starring Michael Dudikoff.
Well, Batman is a ninja, sir.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I never really considered him a ninja per se. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you boiled it down to like the essence of Batman, he is a fucking
And they have done Batman and Ninja Turtle crossovers too. So like, I think Turtles would win that category as well. As much as I like Batman, you don't, like you said, you don't really think of him as a ninja. And then, Turtles win.
Even over Michael Dudikoff's American Ninja.
Yeah.
It spawned 4
Even
sequels.
over Michael Dudikoff's American. Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Well, that's all I had. I don't really have a life lesson taken from this movie because this movie is so fucking absurd. It's 4 gigantic turtles fighting crime in New York City. So really, I don't know.
Don't grab sports equipment out of your garage and become a vigilante. That's a good life lesson. Like that.
I guess if there is a life lesson is April was very timid about meeting the Ninja Turtles at first because they looked different.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's a good life lesson.
So yeah, the Finding Forrester You're the Man Now Dog award for the biggest life lesson taken from this movie is like, don't judge somebody by how they look.
Yeah.
Which is actually a very good life lesson that everyone should take in the world, but I'm not going to get on a soapbox on a Ninja Turtles episode.
But you never know who might be a superhero mutant reptile. So
that's true. I mean, Raphael dressed up in a trench coat and fedora to go see Ghoulies. Was that Ghoulies?
Yeah, it was Ghoulies. Yeah. How creepy would that be to see a guy in a trench coat and fedora?
That's another relic from the dates us to 1990s. Ghoulies was in a movie theater.
And so I've seen movies by myself, and I'm sure you've seen movies by yourself.
I have.
And I know Raphael was a loner, but they're all teenagers. Raphael says, "Hey, I'm going to go catch a movie outside, like not in the sewer with Rat Dad. Like, I'm going to see a movie." You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Oh, Raph, you're going to a movie? I'm going to go too."
The only thing I can think of is none of the other guys were really into movies.
Maybe not. Maybe they only had one trench coat.
That could have been too. I'm sure, like, probably the crime in New York City, there wasn't a lot of guys dressed up in, like, 3X trench coats trying to attack people.
Right. Also, another good life lesson to learn from this movie is if you are a female reporter in between the ages of 20 and 40 in New York City, walking around at night, carry some mace.
Yeah.
Don't let kids steal your purse.
And don't just have a $20 bill sitting around there. You'd have some dickhead fucking kid who's wearing the same smelly Sid Vicious shirt for like 8 months. Steal it.
Yeah. Also, don't fall in love with a kid that only has a stinky, smelly Sid Vicious shirt that hasn't showered in days.
Or a true sign of love is buy him another one. Buy him something that looks completely different.
Buy him a Metallica shirt. Get him some.
Get him out of Punk. Or buy him a fucking Misfit shirt.
Yeah.
Or the Clash. I mean, there are other punk bands besides the Sex Pistols, but
we were able to find so many. We were able to find so many life lessons from this absurd movie.
Yeah,
I just want to point that out.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to look in the show description to follow us on all of our social medias. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, or wherever the fuck it's called, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads. We're on it all. Be sure to drop us an email. If you want to give us your opinions on past episodes, have any show or category ideas, send them our way on the old email. And if you did enjoy what you heard today, which we hope you did, be sure to take just a brief moment of your time. You're drinking your cup of coffee in the morning, or, you're getting ready to wind down, getting ready to head to bed. It's like, hey, you know what? I really enjoyed the Couch Brotato Podcast. I'm going to drop them a 5-star review on Apple. Please do so. We do appreciate all the positive feedback. So until next week, hopefully no major life events happen that cause us to postpone it. But until next week, we will talk to you guys and gals later.